Hi all, welcome to another video. Now this is a HP Elitedesk 800G1 small form factor desktop computer. So what I'd do, as I've already talked through this system, I'd show you what the process is when I get one of these from a supplier on refurbishing and upgrading. So first of all is to make sure it starts up. So I connected all the cables, started the system, and it booted into an install of Windows 10 to the SSD. And the next step I did in the operating system is run the own internal memory diagnostics to check the RAM. All checks out fine. And the next thing to do is to get the case open. So as you can see at the top, good thing about these systems is there's only one latch. So you lift that up, pull it away to get inside the system. Now, this supplier usually cleans them up before sending them out, but I've seen a lot worse than this with blobs of dust everywhere. So looking at the components, that's the power supply. And then moving to the right, that silver disc there is what's called the CMOS battery, and that holds the BIOS settings such as date and time. I always take that out and check the multimeter that the voltage is right. Now it's 3 volts, but you're aiming for just slightly below that, like 2.9. That's acceptable. In this case, wasn't registering, so I've replaced that. You just get a screwdriver and gently move a latch and it pops out. And to the right, it's got the CPU outtake shroud, the heatsink, and the cooling fan, which is running at the moment. And what I'm going to do is remove all that, which is quite easy to do. They're just four screws, 2 on either side, and clean them up, reapply the CPU thermal paste and put that back in. Below that are 4 sticks of RAM, each with 4 gig, making up 16 gig in total, which on a system like this is ideal, but you can get away with 8 gig. Below that it came with a 120 gig solid state drive, and the plan is to add in a storage drive which will sit on top of that. To the left, you don't see many of these nowadays. It's a DVD CD optical drive for any older programs that got lying about. And once the CPU assembly is off, I'll get a vacuum cleaner and very gently, not touching any components, go around the case just to make sure it's as clean as possible, including the ports and various vents on the, well, there's only one vent on the back, and also the vent on the rear of the case for the power supply. Before all that, I just like to, once the CMOS battery is replaced, I like to go into the BIOS. And on this machine, when you press start, you press the escape button and get a menu to go into the BIOS. And this is called the BIOS screen. I also like to check that it's on the latest version of the BIOS, which it is, but you don't have to apply that update if you feel it's unnecessary. But I always like to make sure it's on systems on the latest BIOS, so it's any fixes applied to it. And then because I've changed the battery, I'll go in and change the date and time. And on some systems, in fact, if I can demonstrate this, if you go to storage, the storage option, make sure that AHCI is enabled, which it is, and just check to see if it is. Sometimes there's an option to reduce the speed of the SATA connectivity, I think for stability, but on this machine there's no option, so you don't need to worry about that. Now the next step, once all cleaned up, is I'll install Windows 11 using the refurbish method. You can find out how to do that online, because this system is not officially supporting Windows 11, but the refurbish method gets past various checks and gets the operating system on there. Windows 10 is still supported until October, but you have to go into the system and extend it yourself. But I always like to have my systems now on Windows 11. So if you've got any queries on this build, just let me know. And if you want to know more information on removing the components from the system, again, let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching.